Hi, I'm Brad Berger and welcome to the Ideal Life Advice channel. Today we're going to be talking about comprehensive financial planning. There are a lot of words in our vocabulary that oftentimes get overused, and I can share with you that in my industry, a verb that's constantly overused is comprehensive, and another term that's overused is financial planning. So when you combine all three of those together, all three of those words together, what does that mean? What is comprehensive financial planning? Well, the best way for me to really describe that is to discuss with you our definition of comprehensive financial planning. I talk a lot about it in my book, Stop Trying to Keep Up with the Joneses, They're Broke Anyway. But when we discuss with individuals what comprehensive financial planning is, we discuss it in terms of the fact that we have a methodology, we have a framework, and we have a purpose. We'll talk about those in just a moment. What I'd first like to talk about is the overarching value proposition that supports the comprehensive financial planning methodology, framework, and process. We believe that you should strive to live your ideal life through a process that, number one, aligns your financial choices with your most important goals and your most deeply held values. Number two, gets your entire financial house in order and keeps it that way forever. Number three, it gives you the confidence that no matter what happens in the markets, the economy, or the world, you'll be on track towards your goals. And finally, number four, frees up mental and physical space and time so that you can focus on things in your life that are more important than money. So those are the overarching elements of our value proposition that supports this methodology, the framework, and the process. So what am I talking about with regard to that? Well, the methodology that we follow is something called values-based financial planning. It really goes beyond what traditional financial planning looks at, which I define as the what, and it goes deeper. It really uncovers the why. Why are certain elements important to you? What are your values, and how do those inform the decisions that you make? So that we can assist you in the coaching process to make sure that all of the decisions you make are in complete alignment with regard to what you said you'd like to achieve with what you said is important to you. So that's the first element of it, values-based financial planning. The framework that we follow is a traditional model that has been used in financial planning for a long period of time, but it does have some pitfalls as it's applied in the industry. What are the four elements of that framework? Well, the first one is the discovery process, really understanding who you are, what you want to achieve, why you want to achieve it, and all the data that goes into driving what will ultimately be the next step, which is the planning process. The planning process takes into consideration all of those particular elements and then crafts for you a financial plan based upon all of that particular data. From there, we go into the solutions phase. The solutions phase is what are the steps that you need to take? What is your step-by-step action plan to execute what the plan says you need to do? Just remember, simply having a gym membership will not make you physically fit, and therefore simply having a financial plan will not make you fiscally fit. You actually have to do the work the goals require in order to achieve them. From there, we want to move into what we refer to as the monitoring phase. We have a name for this. In our practice, we call it the recurring review cycle. It's an opportunity to meet with you at a minimum once every trimester, about every 4 months, so that we can go deep into a series of thematic meetings. Instead of waiting to the end of the year and trying to do everything in a catch-all as part of an annual review process, we need to go deep into various subjects, and you can find more about that on our website, liveyorideallife.com. So we've talked about the methodology, the framework, and the process. Comprehensive financial planning really strives to look at not only those elements and applying those, but going beyond that. Because one of the things that we talk about significantly, and I discuss it in detail in my book on how we deliver that process, is the importance of bringing in best-in-class subject matter experts into the mix. At Cornerstone Financial Strategies, we work in an ensemble practice, which means we have individuals on the financial planning team that have very specific areas of expertise. But what we don't have is every area of expertise covered. So what we have is a list of outside providers. These would be CPAs, tax professionals in other areas that you might need. They could be attorneys that deal in the areas of estate, business entity planning. Could be very sophisticated trust construction. But it goes beyond that. It goes to the sorts of professionals that you need as it relates to mortgage brokers, real estate professionals, et cetera, et cetera. There's a long list of individuals, and we want to bring those individuals in. If you've watched my video, The 6 Big Risks, we talk about the 6 big risks in an uncoordinated financial plan. And what we're trying to break down are the walls of these various silos of individuals that you may have by, we call it a de facto team that you have created, that essentially you choose somebody that you know from college that does taxes, and a buddy from Rotary that does legal work, and you're just kind of cobbling together this team. They never meet, they never have a conversation, and they never really understand what it is that you're trying to achieve. So the primary differential in comprehensive financial planning as we define it is, as a review, is the fact that number one, we have 4 very distinct elements of a value proposition. That value proposition is supported then by our methodology, by the framework, and by the process that we follow, and then ultimately we are breaking down the walls of those silos and addressing the 6th big risk, an uncoordinated financial plan, bringing it all together to get you focused on what you need to achieve. So thank you for joining me on the Ideal Life Advice channel. Please hit the thumbs up button if you liked what you saw today, and don't forget to subscribe to the channels for new Ideal Life advice every Wednesday. And remember, always be striving to live your ideal life.